Sadly, no Frenching or Frenching of any lights is happening in this video because Royal Mail seem to have lost my parcel, which contained the steel that I needed to do that. So I'm sacking it off for this video. I'm going to sort out the rear frame from this section here, up, over and back, and we're going to brace that into the back somehow. Let's see if the plan turns into reality. Probably not. First things first, I need to make this rail attached to this rail, but I also need to make sure that it doesn't touch the top of these 4-link bars. Obviously, for those of you that haven't built anything like this before, the reason being is because if that was a straight piece across there, you'll see when the vehicle goes into bump travel, these bars want to come up into the floor area. I think I'll be all right at the moment by running a straight bar across, which is what this lower one is. That's going to be the height I'm going to run at, which is about 1 inch clearance at the minute. However, I'm also then going to notch out just in case. So I've got some tubes, some scrap. I've got one of the 4-link tubes, and as you can see, by notching that into this bit of steel, I'm going to have kind of a lot more play in that area. So we're going to clean this up, we're going to cut a bit of steel, and we're going to make a bar that runs from one side to the other, which clears all the top of the 4-link. We're going to have a go, we're just going to wing it and see what happens. These are basically going to be cut into this section here, like this, and then that's going to allow the bars to go even further up if they need to, which I don't think they will. So now I've got to work out where the bars are, so I'm going to measure the centre point of this, and I'm going to measure the centre point of where they are on the axle. Obviously there is going to be slight side-to-side movement as it drives, there will be, because it's a panhard setup. There'll be clearance all the way around, but obviously I'd still want to get these centrally into this bar. So it's time to do some measurements. The notches are cut out, but obviously as you'll be able to see, because I've took a lot of material, it's naturally wanted to bend upwards. So what we're going to do is clamp it down to a flat table to straighten this bar back out, chuck the notches in, and then we're going to use a MIG to weld it up. So that's the plan, Batman. so we're all welded, tasty, it's all straight still. We just now need to chop this into the rails. So I need to do a 45 cut each side once I've worked out roughly where it needs to be. But hopefully you'll see, ignoring that this top bar is on a bit of a wonky angle because I haven't got spaces in it at the minute, but you should be able to see that the clearance is a lot better there than it would be if it was there. So once that's dropped down a little bit, you'll see it'll get a little bit tighter, but it'll be nowhere near touching. If someone can recommend me some gloves that ain't shit, drop a comment below, because I'm going through these and they're starting to piss me clean off. Anyway, these ends are cut, so what I'm going to do is just clamp something to the bottom, just to act as like a little platform, and it's going to allow me to then just drop my bar on, square it up and get it welded. Well, I say welded, we're just going to tack it at this stage, but so I've just cut out some box section steel, 3 pieces, and I'm doing that because originally there would be a small bit of metal around here with a shelf on, and that was basically the kind of the way of bracing the cab. However, I wanted something a bit more substantial than that, and also it's going to act as a seat base, so if there's any kind of big fat people in it, it needs to be strong. Just going to tack this, maybe drop a 3rd section in and get it out and weld it all up. That I'll probably want to bash some holes through for the seat back, so I'll be able to bolt through the boot into the rear of the seat if I make kind of a padded section. I'm not overly sure what I'm doing with seat at the minute, but it's going to be a lot easier to drill through this steel through here and get it all perfectly square and central without it being in the car. So I'm going to do that now on the pillar drill, bash holes in. If I don't use them, it doesn't really matter, but if I do use them, then they're going to be already there and it's going to be really, really easy to put a seat back in. So yeah, let's mash and pillar drill, and then we'll get some more Wilderinos going. So I'm working out the boot floor or trunk floor. Now I need to make sure that it clears the top of the frame. Two 5mm packers, which gives me 10mm clearance. And then to mark that line on there, I've just dropped a bit of steel over the top, clamped a bit to the bottom, and then that's given me something I could just do a reference marker. And then what I'm going to do is then run a piece of steel all the way across there that doesn't sit any higher than that line. I knew I wasn't going to get to this section, so what I've done is wire wheeled all the way across and then epoxy primed with a 1K epoxy primer. And I've done the similar thing with the back of the frame, which is going to be pretty much up against this. So now it's ready to get the frame in and weld it in place. Visually, this should now make more sense. So this bit here, once the rear legs are welded in straight onto here at the top, I've got clearance here of 10mm and I've got clearance here of 10mm. So this bit will come in, there'll be a flat piece of steel over the top, which will be the boot floor. But obviously the boot floor now can go all the way out there and it's going to clear everything. So yeah, let's get making the rear end. Ooh. Rear legs cut and a rear hidden kind of bumper section. So you get these tacked in. Probably going to put a third one down the middle and then maybe some braces left and right. But yeah, let's get some tacks going. Braces are in, roughly. Time to weld the boot brace. Oh, it's in! We've got the rear bumper section in, MIG welded, and obviously welded at all 4 points. Now, I was going to run a middle bar down. I'm still going to run something in the middle. However, I kind of need to see where the fuel tank's going to go because it's massive. It's a 60-litre tank. Because like I said, I want to be using this daily. I don't want to just be having to fill up over and over and over again. So, huge tank going in. The problem with the big tank is I don't really want to be kind of trying to get a filler in at the petrol station or gas station, if you want to call it in the States. So I'm going to do kind of a trick thing with this panel up here. I'm going to make a new top panel and I'm going to have it filled from outside of the boot itself. So that's how I'm going to do that. I've also got to look at where the battery's going to go. I do think that's going to be sunk into the floor slightly, just so I've got a bit more kind of boot space to just chuck the old shopping bag in if I need to. So yeah, that is kind of that. I'm going to trim these panels up, get this welded, and then kind of either look at the light sections or start looking at the battery and the tank itself. So not sure what yet, but it is the weekend, so I'm going to have a well-deserved break. Catch you in the next video. Peace out.